Take a good look. These boots will never look this good again. I had a special treat today. I put on a new pair of boots. Being a forester, I have worn a lot of different kinds of boots over the years. And golly, let's see, how far back was it? Good 15 years ago, I settled on these. These are Corcoran field boots, and they're a combat boot. They come with a Vibram sole, so they're really good for walking out in the world on uneven ground. And you know, back when I was in college, and this is going back almost 50 years, I needed a set of boots, and short on money, I went to a surplus store with some friends and bought a set of used combat boots. My gosh, they were comfortable. I have no idea what brand they were, but they were you know, a boot similar to this. And I don't know, they have really nice soft leather right in here, so they bend easily. I've had these on all day today, and they feel like they're broken in already. Now, anyway, I settled on these because you need not just a shoe you can walk in all day and it's comfortable all day, but you know, we often go on wildfires or prescribed burns, and you can't have soles that melt, so you've got to have a hard Vibram sole on a boot you might go to a fire with. You have a hard Vibram sole, and you've got to have all leather uppers. You can't have nylon sides to it. It's got to be all leather for going on a fire. You ever go on a fire with a boot with a soft sole and you come home, it'll be melted away. You can't do that. So anyway, so for many years I'd buy a new set a year, and you wear them till they're worn out. And this set over here, it was I wore the soles down on it where I was going to have to retire it or put new soles on it. Put new soles on it, and I think it was wasted money because the leather has given out, and I've still got a lot of wear there on the soles, but you see that leather is worn through or broken. The weak spot on these Corcoran boots is right there at that corner. At that corner, that leather flexes more right there. I don't know if they could fix that by adding a little radius to that corner or not, but that's the weak spot. That's where they will get a hole in them. That's when you know your shoe is getting ready to be replaced. You get a hole in it and you start getting weed seeds and sticks in through there into your socks. And also, you know, walking through wet grass, when they start cracking like that, walking through wet grass, you get your feet wet first thing in the morning. That's no fun. But these are good boots, and the way I take care of these, you brush the dirt off of them. And I grease them up good with either Pecards or Red Wing. I guess, well, it's a waxy, oily substance. You know, in the Army they call it dubbing, but I always like Pecard's pretty good. But the shoe shop I go to sells Red Wing, so I'm using that right now. You can get Pecard's through Dixie Gun Works. It's got a little picture of a little duck on the top of it. It's good stuff. Anyway, it's got a lot of wax in it, so it turns water real good. And you want to clean them good with a brush so you can get that work down into those threads, so you don't have water creeping up from underneath. And if you keep them greased good, you can walk through a creek in these things and not get your feet wet when they're new. And you'll see the tongue comes way up on them. So, but anyway, so I was wearing these boots for a long time, and my dad got drafted into the Army in 1945, and he saw my boots. He said when he was in basic training down in Alabama, you know, they teach them how to spit shine their boots, and and of course they got rough leather out, and he said they made them work on those till that shined. but he was working on spit shining his boots in the barracks, and the sergeant came and looked over his shoulder at him. He called all the guys in there over to him and says, "Everybody look at this. I want everybody to shine their shoes like Johnson." And so I guess he probably had a hard time living that down, but he said that was not really a good thing to have him singled out. But he said everybody shine their shoes like Johnson. So anyway, you can't go wrong. Those are good boots. Real soft leather. That's real soft, and I'll grease those up real good. And these are ready to go walking. You know, I've just had them on today. Put them on this morning just to see if they fit good. Probably have to go to a surplus store or an Army Navy type store to find these, or else you can look them up online. First set I bought was half a size too big. These are 10 double E's, and I got a 10.5. Don't buy them too big. If you can find them somewhere and try them on, you want them so they fit right. I got a 10.5, and what it did, it got a bend in it right there before it was broken in, and that wore a blister on the back of my ankle there on both legs. And eventually they broke in. I was able to tie them up tight. They worked okay, but you want them to fit, and the 10 works for me. But if you get a set, if you order a set and they feel and they're loose on your feet, send them back before you don't wear them, because that'll kink in there and it will hurt you. But that's the only trouble I've ever had with them, other than that spot right there. When you start getting a lot of wear in it, you get a little crack right there. That's where that'll first wear out. Probably ought to write to them and say, put a radius on that, and it would be less prone to doing that. So that's what this Forester wears. And now that I'm retired, these probably last longer. A lot of your Foresters like to wear those high-heeled boots. They buy what they call a logger boot or a high-heel boot. I tried those, and I can't walk in them. I bought a set of Carolina what they call a logger boot. It's a work boot with a high heel, and it throws so much extra weight up here on the ball of my foot that after a couple days I'm about crippled. It makes the ball of that foot burn like crazy on the bottom, having that high heel on a boot for me. And I know people are split on it. A lot of people like to wear the high heel logger boot, and myself, I never could figure out why. I know women cripple themselves wearing high heels. It throws all that weight up here on front and crunches their toes into the front of their shoe. And just for me, a flat-soled shoe works a lot better. So anyway, Corcoran field boots. These are basically the same as the combat boot that was issued during the World War II. In World War II, they were brown, and they didn't have Vibrams on them then. And you can buy the original style for reenacting. I've never got into reenacting, but boy, for walking all day and having comfortable shoes on your feet, you have a hard time beating these. So thank you much for visiting, and if you want them to look good, shine your shoes like Johnson. See you later. Thank you.